Hi folks, welcome to your MWIS Friday Planner in association with Ellis Brigham. We've got chilly patterns continuing. We have a weekend of wintry April showers in the forecast. The week ahead is a fairly quiet story, a few variations from day to day, not too much in the way of precipitation and wind, but some showers in the forecast occasionally. The overall patterns though staying on the cool side, not quite as cold by the middle of the week. We'll start off with a look at the freezing level chart, and first thing on Saturday morning, a pretty widespread frost, particularly across the northern half of Britain. We will then get a daytime lift of freezing level across the mountains, so by the time we get through into Saturday afternoon, the freezing level is up to around 700 metres, perhaps a little bit higher than that across England and Wales. Lowest across the northern parts of the Highlands, where you may not get much above 400 metres in the far north. Now we'll find the frost will form again as skies are clear overnight into Sunday. Again, lowest temperatures across the northern half of the country, well down below freezing in the valleys and the glens, and the white shading on this chart really suggests that frost is likely to be found even across central southern England and Wales. Sunday does a very similar story, and freezing levels will rise through the course of the day, again up to around 700 or 800 metres or so by the middle and second half of the afternoon. We roll the story on into next week, and it's a similar situation at first. Overnight frost for Monday morning, temperatures then rising through the course of the day. Gradual changes taking place next week. I suspect that the freezing level will be a little bit higher as we head onwards into Tuesday and Wednesday, so getting up to 800 to 1,000 metres, if not even slightly higher by the time we get to the middle of the week, just as less cold air begins to drift around off the North Atlantic. Saturday's synoptic chart looks like this. We have high pressure stationed out to the west of us. We've got a general northerly drift across the country. The wind not particularly strong, but still a rather chilly feel across higher terrain. The frontal system lying across northern France is what drifted southwards through Friday, which has put us back in that colder air mass from the north. And it's then really a story of sunshine and April showers, which will break out most widely in the afternoon across inland areas. A quick glance at the vertical profile of the atmosphere, just for your technical interest. This is sort of mid-afternoon across central parts of the Highlands, and what we're seeing here is that things are relatively unstable, so it's that atmosphere which can build up some cumulus clouds, and they grow into showers as we get just a bit of thermaling through the strength of the April sunshine. Temperatures higher up in the atmosphere are relatively chilly, so that air can rise and that will form some showers. Now, the odd one or two will be heavy enough to maybe just have a rumble of thunder in, isolated, as opposed to anything too widespread, but you can expect some hail and you can expect some snow to fall to the lowest slopes at times as well. It's relatively dry air that's come down from the north, as often is the case with an Arctic air mass. So we've got quite a separation between the temperature and a dew point, and that means that cloud bases are quite well up. So you'll see that growing cumulus cloud, but the base will often be above the higher mountains, so you'll get some good clear breaks away from any of the showers. This just takes you through the weekend hour by hour and shows that first thing on Saturday morning, many places are dry, but there's a few showers draped around some coastal regions. But it's really as we go onwards into the early afternoon that showers will build up, and then as the afternoon goes on, showers form more widely. It's a very typical situation for this time of year. You can just see that pretty extensive suggestion of precipitation across this chart, but also plenty of dry weather around as well. With the winds relatively light, we may just find that some of those showers become quite frequent and slow moving, so it's going to be a hit and miss story of whether you just get stuck with those or stay more frequently dry. Now the message onwards into Sunday, if I just take you through, you'll see how the showers fade more or less overnight, a few left around the coasts. But for Sunday, the focus of showers will break out a little bit more across England and Wales, because that's where we've got the greatest amounts of instability in the atmosphere, not quite as much across the Highlands. So the greater risk of some hefty April showers around Pennine areas toward the Peak District and across into Wales, scattering across Scotland, but tending to be more flurries and nowhere near as widespread. We do, though, just have to watch for a little frontal system trying to nudge its way into the far northwest. Now, this model chart may be a little bit quick with trying to bring that in, but it's the idea of maybe just something going downhill with some steadier rain and hill snow edging into northwestern coasts of Scotland before the end of the day. Otherwise, it's just that story of showers, as mentioned, and temperatures will gradually rise through the day, but most higher mountains staying at sub-zero. We're getting into rather lethargic springtime weather patterns basically into next week, where we're rather stuck in between weather systems, not a great deal happening, fairly weak areas of high and low pressure nearby, and the remnants of some fronts just interfering with things. So overall, not a great deal happening, a few bits of showers and bits of precipitation and some low cloud, maybe just around what's left of this weak frontal zone. But away from that, also a good amount of sunshine, a bit of cloud building up through the day, much of it above the hills, and some very clear conditions away from any local showers. Just expect maybe a scattering of showers to pop up across the highlands in the afternoon, but many of them just flurries and a good chance of staying dry. It stays, though, on the chilly side, with the higher mountains below freezing point throughout. Fairly high pressure is still around into Tuesday. Again, a weak frontal zone somewhere lurking across the country may just produce a bit of a spoiler in some areas for some rather dull conditions and a few bits of showers, maybe something a bit steadier, but not amounting to a great deal for many places. And away from that zone, I think especially across the highlands, should be again a day with bright skies and some sunshine, a bit of cloud building up to the day, and one or two showers popping off into the afternoon, but pretty well scattered, and again mostly just flurries. Light winds then overall beneath high pressure, temperatures still stay on the cool side. It looks as though high pressure stays around into the middle of the week. Again, there may just be the footprint of an old front that's producing a bit of cloud, a bit of moisture in places, one or two showers developing into the afternoon locally, but many places often dry, a good amount of bright and sunny weather around, and winds stay light. If anything, temperatures just coming up a touch by the stage. There might even be some local inversion conditions forming with some low-level fog banks in the morning. Always tricky just to know where things go further down the line in these rather quiet, slow-moving weather patterns, but high pressure looks as though we stay nearby later in the week. If anything, just trying to draw in some milder conditions from the south as the wind flow just turns around. Some of it, though, some of the air still circulating in from Central and Eastern Europe, which is where some of the colder air has gone at the moment. If that all just comes back around on itself, it still doesn't do a huge amount in terms of lifting those temperatures too much. But I expect things to be a bit milder than what we're seeing at the moment. Could just be a windier day or so if those southerly winds do just strengthen at the back end of the week. Toward next weekend and further ahead, indications tending to favour high pressure being back over the Atlantic, so the airflow may eventually come back around out of the north or northwest, so still maybe beyond the middle of the month something on the cool side with the mountains near or just below freezing point on higher tops. You can stay up to date with all our latest local forecasts for your area, of course, every day on our website. That's been your Friday Planner in association with Ellis Brigham. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.